Hello everyone, this is Judy coming to you from my scrapbook loft, and I started this recording once and it kicked off on me and I lost it, so I've had to start it over. But we can still do this. Let me set my timer because my camera's old and I can't find a memory stick for it now that doesn't cost $58. So what we need is, you need chipboard, score tape, I'm using 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch, your ruler, tweezers or something to take the tape off of your Tyvek with, and you need 4 pieces of Tyvek, 2.5 by 8.5. I have this piece of chipboard and this piece is 8.5 by 8.5. The middle spine is 3 1/4 by 8.5. The end spine is 3 1/4 by 8.5. And the other end spine, I'm going to call it, is 2.5 by 8.5. Because I'm going to make this book like I did the scrapbook that I did a video on of the recipe book. I'm going to have this closure slide in to the top panel. And I'm going to use Snow White as the base, and that is from Walmart, 78-pound textured cardstock. I'm going to use as my pattern paper the Paper Studio Terrace Blooms, and you'll need your bone folder and a cheater. This is 2 pieces of cardstock chipboard glued together. And the reason I call it a cheater is because that's what I use to measure between my hinges so that I get a working hinge. As you can see, it's a working hinge. The Tyvek goes on each hinge, and I'm going to show you on this hinge here how to put it on. I'm using a 1/4 inch tape on the Tyvek. You get my little square here. Lost my stamp block that I used for this. It's here on this mess somewhere. You don't want to put tape in the center of your Tyvek. And Tyvek, the reason you use Tyvek is for the wear and tear on the hinge of your book. I don't stick them right back in the drawer. I misplace them every time. So. Now you burnish your score tape down, and that's to get any air bubbles out, because if you don't, it will turn loose. Alright. Now we're going to take one side off. And we're going to put it on our chipboard. There we go. Turn it over and burnish it. Now we're going to take the other side off. The reason I'm doing this tutorial is Cathy from Katzel Creates has asked me to do a tutorial when I showed the video of the recipe book, and I have a cousin in Michigan who's wanting one of my books, so I'm making one for her. Then you take your hinge or your chipboard after you've spaced your cheater there, and you line it up with this piece over here. Turn it over and burnish it. And now you have your book. I don't need my cheater anymore. I'll put that out of the way. And now we're going to put our white paper on. We are going to, I think I'll turn the textured side out this time. I usually put the smooth side out. I think I'll put the textured side out just to give it some, well, texture. I'm going to glue these two together. Varnish it down. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Okay. Let's move the book out of the way. It's making a big shadow. Take the tape off. This on. See how much more I need for my book. You don't want this joint to come out on a hinge. You want to make sure it's on a solid piece of the chipboard. I need six more inches. Get my cutting board up here. Switch out the blade. Save this one for chipboard. A new blade here I had waiting. I wore the other blade out already. I go through blades real fast. So 6 inches. I think I'll do 6 1/4 just to be on the safe side. Book up here. Tape out. I use 1/2 inch tape on this to overlap this paper by 1/2 inch. Can't keep up with that thing. There it is, under my nose. And I did that completely backwards to what I said I was going to do. Well, no, I didn't either. What am I thinking? What are you thinking? I'm about to, though. About to mess up. There we go. Now, I flip it over and I'm not messed up. Now to lay my book down. I want to do it this way because I want that. I don't want this coming out on my front piece of my chipboard. I'd rather have it on the side hinges. And there we go. Now, we're going to put our tape on here. To put our paper on, cover. I always put this pretty close because I don't want, some of the scrapbookers, they don't put tape on the hinge, but I do because I don't like it puckering when you open it up. I like for it to fit tight. I've never had any problems with my books, and believe me, I've made many of them over the last 15 years because I am the oldest of 15 children, and I have made every single brother and sister a book, every niece and nephew a book. I have made friends books. If they've had a birthday or a wedding or a baby, this is what they get from me. And they expect them. They expect them now. If I get them something else, they're disappointed. So I've made plenty of them. All of my children have several books. My grandchildren all have several books. I've made bukus of them, let me tell you. I have. And nobody has ever complained about any of them coming apart. And I've got several myself that I've made for myself. And my husband has got 3 or 4 of them that I've made for him, of his family. My sister-in-laws. I have 2 sister-in-laws, and each one of them have at least 1 or 2 books and 1 or 2 boxes. Like I said, I've made plenty of them. Now I'm going to burnish this down, and you see this space that I have right there because I've run my tape crooked. I always run it crooked, can't help it. I'll be putting a 1/4 inch piece there, and I burnish it into that Tyvek that's on the hinge. I burnish it down into that. I hope you all can see this. Alright, now what I'm going to do is lay this down here. I am not very good at eyeballing, so I'm going to make it 1.5 inches up on this 12-inch piece. Sorry if my arm is getting in the way. This tape is long. When you make these books, you go through the tape, let me tell you. I do anyway. Several pieces there. Now I'm going to flip it over. Nope, it's the way I wanted it, right? Because I want that to come out on the spine. And I'm going to line my book up with my mark. And I want about 1 inch on each side. This tape out of my way. Trash can. I know you can see the tape through this, but it won't hurt it because you're going to be putting, well, I'm going to be putting another layer of chipboard over that. Now to turn that around and bend it up. See how it sticks really good through there? It's no puckering. It lays really good because I taped it that way. There's no puckering in that hinge. Alright, now I'm going to get my handy dandy little tool out. It's called the Perfect Trimmer. And it's perfecttrimmer.com if you're interested in purchasing it somewhere. And let's see, get my pencil. And I like to use the 25, the 1/4 inch. Here it gives me plenty of room. And I just mark it and cut it with my scissors. I don't bother with getting my cutting mat out and my scoring knife or my cutting knife, craft knife. I'll get it here in a minute. Because it's just as easy. Does just as good this way. And it doesn't even have to be straight. Cut that one a little crooked. Garbage. Well, my timer's getting ready to go off, so I will come back and do some more on it for you. And hugs to you from me. Thank you for watching.